All right, our recording's going. We're ready to go, guys.
All right, thanks so much, Ryan. Welcome everybody to today's webinar, Bank Reporting Reimagined. We're excited to be with you today. We're going to show you what I believe to be is the art of the possible with reporting. We've had the opportunity to work with a number of banks, which we'll talk about, but reporting becomes one of the number one issues that the finance team struggle with. So that's what we're focused on today. Before we get into the presentation, I always have to talk about the safe harbor statement. Because we're going to demonstrate software, this is just to say that if we talk about anything future related, make your decisions on base what you see today. And I'm very confident to tell you that everything you see today is available in the adaptive solution. So that said, today's discussion is going to run across a couple of things. We're going to introduce ourselves, talk real briefly about ECapital so you know who you're talking to today. Talk about the opportunity that finance has in today's environment, especially within banking. Talk about today's reporting environment. What are the struggles? What are the challenges? Where are people wanting to move towards? And then most important, we're going to let a customer talk about their journey with reporting and adaptive and let you hear from them, because I think that's more important than hearing us talk to you about the things that you can gain by investing in your reporting capability. And finally, we're going to do the adaptive reporting demo. And one of my colleagues who you'll meet shortly will walk us through that. And then we'll just wrap up. We'll have some time at the end for questions. So as we're going through, if you have questions, please submit them using the Q&A, and we'll be glad to get back with you at the end of the discussion. So as far as introductions go, again, my name is Scott Wallace. I've been with ECapital Advisors for about 3 years, but I spent the majority of my career at Deloitte Consulting, where I also was focused on the Office of Finance, helping clients improve their overall financial processes, their reporting, their budgeting, planning, forecasting, and have seen about everything out there. I've been across a number of industries, including financial services, and had the opportunity to assist in those transformations that clients went through. I joined ECapital about 3 years ago because I still love to consult. So once I retired from Deloitte, I joined up with ECapital because I knew the partners. In fact, their technical people are so great. I used to use them on my projects at Deloitte because I never had enough technical resources. And so I'm excited to be part of their team and talking with you today. Husai?
Hello, my name is Husai Garwal. I am on the pre-sales side here with ECapital Advisors. A little bit of background about myself. I have spent a little over 10 years in just a variety of FP&A roles from small, medium to enterprise level. Have also used adaptive planning in one of my previous senior financial analyst roles. And I'm excited to be here today and take you through the demo.
Perfect. Yep, my name's Steve Adams, so I am Scott Wallace's counterpart. So my experience about 4 years in the planning budgeting space with a handful of different tools and a handful of different industries, but definitely excited to be here representing ECapital and adaptive planning.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, everyone. Just a little bit about ECapital. We've been in business a little over 20 years. We have been focused in on helping clients really become decision-making organizations. I know a lot of people talk about data-driven organizations. Well, getting the data is the first step. Making the decisions with the data is what's critical. And we've helped clients really become decision-making organizations through the application of better process and technology. We've done that for over 500 clients, successful implementations, and really have had the privilege to continue to work with them as they've evolved over the years. We are problem solvers, we are transformational leaders, and we're technology experts. And I think you're going to see and hear that all today. So our people empower your business, and we're looking forward to talking with you. The opportunity, as I see it, for finance in today's world is really, it's that untapped potential to really drive business value creation. And this is whether you're in banking as an industry, if you're in any other industry. Finance is really on the verge because of technology and the capabilities to move from merely gatekeepers to, business partners that really help maximize business value. If you think about today's finance environment, we're cost managers. I was a finance guy prior to going to Deloitte for 14 years of my career. I've lived in the space. I've run the Excel spreadsheets. I've had that opportunity to be not only an Excel hell, but just to be worried about getting monthly reporting out. So it really takes a majority of our time as finance leaders and as finance professionals to get out the reporting, to get out the variance analysis that we do every month. And that's, all we can do is measure ourselves. Were we able to do that? If I think about the technologies that allow us in today's environment to really become value-added business partners and being able to provide that relevant insight for decision-making, that's the place I think all of us professionally and personally want to be in our careers. And the technologies allow us to take that chunk of time, which is 70% or more based on current input from finance professionals across the country, to 30%. So we're drastically reducing the time that it takes to do reporting and analysis of your business. And so that's the opportunity. And that's why we thought it was important to talk about reporting and reporting reimagined for banking. One of the things that we found is that all of our clients, and especially our banking clients, are stuck in the world of Excel. They're stuck with the, all of the issues that come with Excel, the manually intensive nature of moving data from multiple data sources, getting it and manually loading it into Excel worksheets, sometimes making it a little bit automated with an upload, but basically doing a lot of manual effort, which creates, not only does Excel have a propensity to have errors in it as you change sheets, as you change formulas. If all of them aren't updated, you're prone to errors within the solution itself. But the movement of data, anytime I have to touch data, I introduce an opportunity for error. And so what we're seeing in that current state is, how do I get out of Excel? How do I get out of an error-prone environment and make it more integrated, more automated, and allow me to get reports and variance analysis and data out to my customers within my business in a more timely fashion? And that's what we're talking about today. That's where people want to go, and that's their desired state. We're going to talk a little bit about clients that we've had and what they're dealing with today. Steve?
Yes, perfect. So I just wanted to highlight, we have a handful of recent customers in the banking space. And so where we see very common reporting needs, right? We're obviously going to talk about financials and show you the income statement, balance sheet, cash flow, the single sheet view and how great that is. But we do have big concerns, right? Especially with COVID and how that impacting today's world. Loan reporting has been huge, right? Whether we're talking about consumer, commercial and business loans, real estate, what we're at in specific mortgages, are we on a second lien, what those numbers really look like. And then to take that deeper, looking at our risk reporting, where are we delinquent? Where are our charge-offs happening? And how is this impacting our business? And then finally, operations reporting, I think, is critical, right? As you're looking to expand into different branches and look at new products, we need to be able to look at how that's impacting our business. So one of the key things is, as we're expanding, United Fidelity Bank's one of our customers, looking at acquisitions, how is that impacting our business? And where are we looking at, either at a geographic level, at a product level, and just different ways to view the business, I think is critical. And what we'll be able to show you today is a number of these reports, how they impact your business and how you can slice and dice that those specifics and view it, whether it is by location or by loan rates or even by branch.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that insight and what our customers are dealing with. We're going to move into what I like to do, and we're really fortunate to have some really good customer videos and have the customer talk to you about what they're dealing with. At Max Credit Union, and like I said, when we were talking about the current state and desired state, they were dealing with the typical challenges, getting those reports out in a timely way, able to do self-service reporting they just couldn't do it. getting new reports out of their systems was difficult unless they used Excel. And the data wasn't integrated, so they were moving data a lot, which again adds to the opportunity for error and the risk that that brings with it. And I want to let Melissa talk about the results, because I think it comes, it's truer to hear her talk about what they were able to do at Max Credit Union. So I'm going to turn it over to her.
Hi, I'm Melissa Miller with Max Credit Union. We're based in Montgomery, Alabama. I'm the Accounting Operations Manager. As a financial institution, Adaptive has helped analyze our call center levels. So it's very easy to go into Adaptive, into the balance sheet or the income statement, and view information by call center or region. Adaptive has been very useful with the Office Connect product. I use the traditional reporting system as well as Office Connect, and it's a very fluid system, very easy to use, intuitive, and it's made the process much more efficient. With Office Connect, once the month-end data has been imported into Adaptive, we're able to quickly refresh our templates in Office Connect and immediately pinpoint areas that may need to be researched or adjusting entries that may need to be posted. Delivering higher quality board reports through Office Connect has meant greater ability to describe the data versus looking so much at extensive spreadsheets and numbers. With Adaptive, we've been able to take on a more future-oriented view, particularly with the rolling forecast option. Reporting data and utilizing that data in the reporting process has become much more efficient so that more of my time can be used for analytics. Since the use of Adaptive, I feel my confidence level has grown in the ability to analyze the data more efficiently and more holistically. With Adaptive, my work-life balance has changed. I'm able to complete reporting more efficiently, and as a result, I'm not working as many hours, so I'm able to enjoy time at home with family a little more often now.
Thank you, Melissa. And I hope you enjoyed listening to her talk and her experiences. I was taken when the first time I saw this video was the fact that her work-life balance got better. Having lived that life as a financial analyst for a good part of my career, I know what it's like, especially when you're doing month-end reporting and board reporting. We really feel that that's a big win as far as a time saver goes with solutions like Adaptive. So today we're going to walk through on our demo. We're going to walk through performance dashboards, and what I like about this is they're not just pretty pictures. They're interactive dashboards and allow you to answer questions while you're on there. We're going to talk about planning because it really sets up the reporting. So as you're planning your business, maybe creating a new version and looking at things that are changing, and then move into the reporting and be able to show you the kind of reporting we're talking about and bringing that to life for you in a real example. And then finally, as Melissa referred to in her video, Office Connect and what that means for board reporting, Excel reporting, et cetera, that you're going to be able to use with a tool like Adaptive. So with that, I am going to stop sharing and turn it over to my colleague, Husai.
Perfect. Thank you, Scott. I will take over the share. It looks good on my end, but if it doesn't, please stop me.
You're good to go.
Okay, great. So I have logged into Adaptive Planning. It is a cloud-based solution, so you can log in from anywhere on the web, from your PC, your iPad, or even your phone. Before we dive into dashboards here, which is what I'm presented with upon my login, really you can be presented with anything when you first log in. If there are specific sheets that you're maybe working in more frequently on a daily basis, you can be presented with that immediately on your first login. Can be fully customized to what you see. In our top right-hand corner here, we are logged in this demo environment as a senior financial analyst. We're Anna Johnson here, and we're also the only user at this point in time. If you have additional users who you want to be able to input data, adjust their forecast or plan, you can at any point in time see who all else is in the system while you're in it. Then we have this little question mark here. I always like to highlight this. This is the Adaptive Knowledge Center. I like to think of it as your Google search with your guided click options. Super helpful. And if you have some quick questions, very easy to search for and find related links for your questions. We also have our versions available here to us on dashboards. I have cloned, right before this demo, cloned my budget version and created a what if scenario or budget version 2. Very easy to do within adaptive planning. Takes about 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how big your model is, to create an unlimited number of versions. Really no impact to your performance. In this model here, I have a few versions. I have my actuals, like I said, my final budget, and then I have cloned it, and then some forecast versions. But you can easily create your rolling forecast versions if you're doing maybe monthly forecast, or maybe every 6 months you want to do your 6+6. Easy to create, 30 seconds to a minute, and then they're ready for you here on dashboards. Any sheets, reports, you can easily toggle between your different versions. Then on our left-hand side here, under our W Workday icon is where you can access the navigation menu. Since we are an admin user, we're looking at a very comprehensive list of everything available to us, such as the modeling piece, administration, and data integration. End users or contributors will not have access to this, as security is applied here for your admin users to be able to come in here and adjust your model as the business may change going forward. So with that, dashboards. Dashboards really allow you to view your financials in just a variety of formats. Just to kind of give you a taste of what's all possible, I'm able to create a waterfall chart. Maybe we have some gauges, different KPIs or metrics I'm tracking, such as my asset under management, net income, net margin, just a variety of dashboards here. Maybe I have my total new accounts specifically here for the month, and my type of accounts, as well as some key performance indicators. In my top blue ribbon here, I have my dimensions. In my example, I have time, level, and currency. Here within level, this is your organizational hierarchy within adaptive planning. This is where you will decide how you want to organize your data, is when we will spend time with you during implementation to build that hierarchy out for you. It could be by department, by maybe different managers, geographically, by different customers, by different cost centers or profit centers. Really, however you want to organize your data is what your hierarchy will look like here, and then consolidation or aggregation of your data will work accordingly to your total company level here.
I mean, as Husai walks you through the examples today, just open your minds to a day in the life of a CFO or a financial analyst, and being able to open up a dashboard like this and be able to see all of the key indicators that I need to know at a branch level, at a total level, for what's going on in my business. And you can customize these dashboards for your executives so that they're seeing a dashboard that's important to them, for your branch managers, or for individual contributors that you feel need information. And you can schedule this to be on there, available for them daily, weekly, monthly, just so that they can get this information, decide on maybe future actions and adjustments they can make. The volume in a certain branch. Are we successful with our marketing? Are we seeing our brand account, our new accounts go up? Those are the kind of things that keep that in mind as you're watching the demo today, because it's really about changing how you do your business.
Yep, that's right. So I have just switched over to my community banking, and all of my dashboards have automatically updated to represent data just for my community banking department here. Very easy to do, since I am an admin user, automatically toggle between your different hierarchies and immediately see your results from a different view. So let's hop back up to our total company. I also like to think of these dashboards as self-serve. So here, Anna Johnson, as a senior financial analyst, can come in here and drill through, but even your executives can come in here. They're very easy to use. Like Scott said, they're not just pictures or visuals of your data. You can kind of use them as a launching point to start asking questions and drill through on them to kind of get to the detailed level that you want to investigate on. If I'm looking at this example here of my new accounts by type, let's assume I am an executive, I'm coming in here and I want to know a little bit more by maybe which branches are driving the most of one of these types of accounts. So I'm looking at my CDs here. I have 480 CDs, and I'm interested to see which branches are contributing the most out of my 480. Looks like it's starting with branch 3 at 207, followed by 2, 4, and 1. So very easy to use for anyone within your organization to just drill through and find immediate answers to questions you may have. Then on our right-hand side here in our blue ribbon, we're also able to take this into presentation mode very quickly and easily with just the click of a button. Let's assume you have users in this platform making last-minute changes before a 3 o'clock meeting to any drivers or underlying data. You can be in the system here up till 2:59, make your changes, go into your 3 o'clock meeting, hit your presentation mode icon, and then you're ready to go in presentation mode for your meetings without having to copy and paste anything out of here into PowerPoint. So with that, that kind of concludes our mini section on dashboards here. I will next navigate over to our planning piece of our demo. And I like to start on our P&L. Here, we're looking at a very simple example of a P&L where we have our time in our columns on top, and then we have our accounts on our left-hand side. I have 2 different types of revenue streams coming into this P&L here for account fees and interest income, and I'm doing the calculations for those revenue streams on additional supporting schedules or sheets that I have open at the top ribbon here, where we will jump to in a few seconds here. As I scroll through this P&L here, we have just our traditional SG&A accounts all the way down to maybe our operating income. We have maybe an operating margin that we like to see on this P&L down to our net income. These sheets, just like dashboards, fully customizable to how you would like to see your P&L. If you'd like to have an EBITDA on here or some other metric calculations, EBITDA is a percent. Very easy to do and able to bring in and customize your accounts here on our left-hand side. So we'll be going into some of those supporting schedules and make some changes to our interest income and also to our fee income, and then come back to this P&L and refresh it to show you how you can use granular level of detailed planning sheets to make adjustments and then refresh your P&L really in just a matter of a few clicks, and you can see your changes directly on your P&L. So navigating over to that supporting schedule, our interest income, here's where I'm doing some calculations that for interest income that is derived at a specific intersection. And I'm looking at corporate loans, and we're able to do this by different types of product offerings you have. And I'm also looking at a specific hierarchy here at just branch 1. I'm also using just a variety of accounts to do my calculations for my interest income, such as my key rate, and to derive changes to my income here. I'm holding some assumptions on my interest rate driver sheet, where I will navigate next to make some adjustments to those drivers and then see a change to my corporate loans interest income here on this sheet. So let's go and take a look at that driver sheet. This is our assumption or driver sheet, where I can hold just a variety of drivers that you may be using in your business today to do your calculations for your budget scenarios, forecast scenarios. Really, this is just an example that I have here in my demo. I have maybe my number of business days in the month that I'm holding in the year. We have a withdrawal rate that we're holding, some different types of interest rates, or Fed funds, our LIBOR rates, some treasury rates, and then some transfer pricing rates I have here as an example. So let's make a change to our treasury rates to see how that would impact our interest income, and then see our impact to the P&L as well. Before I make the change, just want to highlight too, I'm in that what if scenario or budget version 2. So where I'm doing kind of, kicking the tires, what would happen if your interest rates decrease or increase, kind of just really play with your drivers, make some changes, see the impact, and then take a look at it on a variance report. So for sake of simplicity, I'm just going to apply a change for January through December, all the way through my 10-year treasury rates here. Just highlighting them, right-click adjust, and let's decrease them. And we'll just decrease by 1%. So the original values have now just decreased by 5%. Anytime you make a change in adaptive, it always turns blue. It kind of shows you, hey, you just made a change. Before you save it, it just shows it to you in blue. And then to save, it's just a simple save. To submit it, it's just a simple save. So now all of our blue is going to turn black. We have saved it. And let's navigate back to that interest income. We'll refresh it. And in real time, it has updated our income here derived from my corporate loans. That then gets pushed to or shipped off to the P&L here. We'll refresh on our P&L, and our interest income has changed by us just making one change to your treasury rates driver by decreasing them by 5%. Let's run through one more example for our account fees here, our advisory fees. Again, we have additional supporting schedules, such as our fee income sheet, where we're doing the detailed modeling. Navigating over to that fee income, similar to the interest income sheet, we have just a different types of accounts that we're holding here. We have our total sales, maybe we have some withdrawals and redemptions and closed accounts to get to our asset under management. Maybe some gross basis points, net basis points to calculate row 21 here for our net advisory fees. To make a change here, I'm looking at my row 3 here for my total sales. I'm at my portfolio management department, and I'm looking at about 5.86 million. Let's assume I just want to apply FY 2020 adjustments instead of going into it by month. And we'll maybe just adjust it to 6 million even. Just typing it into my full year, hitting enter will allow me to break it back proportionally. We can use prior year's value evenly, or even just on a weighted basis. So we'll just go proportionally, but you could also do it using prior year's value, where it will look at, here I'm in 2020, it will look at 2019 and then adjust it accordingly. So now my FY 2020 is at 6 million. It kept that original value and took just the difference and spread it over those 12 months. Very powerful to use, and you don't have to go into cell by cell to calculate that difference. You can just use this break back to apply your changes. Again, we're just going to submit it, hit our save button. And now we've just made some changes to our total sales that has now changed or updated our net advisory fee revenue here that then gets pushed from this supporting schedule into our P&L for account fees. So I like to make one more change maybe on our expenses here that kind of summarizes how we're using supporting schedules to do some of our revenue planning, as well as using some driver sheets where we're holding interest rates to drive our revenue accounts here on the P&L. So looking at our operating SG&A accounts here, Let's take a look at our training account here and make just some simple adjustments in row 31. In my blue ribbon here in the top section, want to highlight that you're able to bring in quarters. Myself personally, I don't like to see quarters on my sheet. I only like to see my months when I'm looking at a 12-month open window that I'm planning or working with. But we're also able to bring our fan favorite spark lines. So especially for your visual users, now you can see your accounts, you can see your spark lines. We also have our actual data here in the green font for FY 2019, and then we have our black, in the black font, our forecast data. So I'm gonna make just a simple change here to training. These spark lines are interactive. You can actually use them to drag and drop. Very easy to use, and as you're making the change, it will turn blue in your visual as well as in your data point here to see the changes. We'll just simply X out of it. Also want to highlight our formula assistant or formula wizard. I'm on my telephone account here. I'm able to use this formula assistant. So you have flexibility on how you want to make changes on your sheets by using the spark lines as a visual users, or even just use your formula wizard. We have the Excel syntax here available. This is where you can then, into individual cells or rows here on any of your sheets, make your, write your what if statements or any of your formulas you're maybe currently doing in Excel. You're easily able to use this wizard to make your changes. So let's save this and navigate over to our reports. So we've just made a few changes. I'm going to pull up a report where I'm comparing these two versions. This is a report that I have created. I'm looking at my FY 2019 actuals. I'm looking at those two versions. I made some changes to my budget version 2, which I cloned originally from my budget version. And as you can see, I have my variance here is all 0. And on this report, I'm looking at my income statement. I have some ratios, and I have the balance sheet all in one view. So we'll refresh this. So as I'm refreshing this report, I can see my variances very quickly and easily. So if I wouldn't have talked this long, made those changes in the supporting schedules, quickly make your changes, come to a report like this and see your variance and your impact to your income statement, to your ratios, your balance sheet, really just in a matter of a few clicks. So as you can see, here is my, in my variance columns, I have my variances as well as my red and green flags in my impact column. I personally like these a lot, having spent a lot of time in finance in the past. If you have a report like this that is maybe thousands of rows long, use this impact column with those little flags to kind of let the system tell you where the hot buttons are, so you can get focused on them faster or quicker or immediately right away, instead of you kind of digging through thousands of rows.
One of the key things to keep in mind is that Adaptive is very much it's a single platform across your enterprise. So as Husai was showing you changes you might make for a forecast or a new version that you're trying to test out, in this case, a lower interest rate coming from the Treasury, and what are the impacts of that, it automatically not only updates the income statement, but is integrated right with the balance sheet. So you see the balance sheet impacts as well. So that's the one thing to keep in mind too, is that we're not working with separate workbooks or separate sheets. We're all in a single platform, and allows that integration to happen seamlessly.
Yep, and as Scott was talking, you're also able to bring in some notes. So I just added a note to my interest income and kind of wrote Treasury rate decrease. You have the flexibility to show your notes at the bottom, or we can also have your notes show up in your columns on your right-hand side. So very flexible on how you want to use these reports to do maybe even your variance analysis. You can have this report, refresh it immediately, make your changes, and then spend your time on your analysis in this column here on your right-hand side to really leave notes for other users, your executives, really any type of analysis you like to do here. These reports are also very interactive, just like dashboards. I'm able to slice and dice this. I'm looking at my interest income here. Maybe I want to see this by each of my different departments or regions. Now I can take a look at the interest income by all my branches. I made that change on branch 1, so we can now see it. It's all coming from here. So very easy to slice and dice. My interest income account popped to the top, and my hierarchy is within my report. We'll go back to the undrilled report. As I'm hovering over these data points here, they're underlined. You can drill through just like in dashboards. We're able to drill through from a report as well. I can see my data point and further drill down on any of these hyperlinked sheets to get to the bottom level of detail directly from a report. On our top right-hand side here in the blue ribbon, at any point in time, you can take these reports and download them into Excel or PDF, directly print from here, further edit them if you want to add maybe more columns. Very easy to do. It's drag and drop functionality. It's click, not code, I like to call it. You pick your new version that you've already created and drag it into your report. Take a snapshot, save it as your personal report or even as a shared report out there for other users to come in and see as well. So next, I like to go into an example of some more reporting specifically to loans. Navigate it over to our loan sheet here. This is a sheet where I'm loading maybe your trial balance, your loan's trial balance on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, really to kind of capture your updated loan balances, fully customizable. In my example here of about 8 columns, I have my note numbers, the dates I've issued those loans, and maybe I have a different tracking them by different product types or offerings. And then I have my customers' names as well as my net active principal balance. I'm tracking my interest and my cumulative interest as well. So a sheet like this can be uploaded daily, like I said, hourly, however often you want to update your loan balance. From the sheet, we can calculate and track metrics. I'm going to quickly navigate to our metrics sheet. I am calculating using that trial balance, such as my loan counts by each of my product lines, my principal balance and average principal balance a month to date, just a variety of metrics that you can track. My example here is a bit short of about 5 different metrics here that I'm tracking here on a sheet like this using that trial balance that gets updated. So as you update that trial balance, this will update real time with the new information. To conclude this demo here today with one last report, our averages report. I understand that banks have a need to report not only your month-end balances, but also your month-to-date average balances, your quarter-to-date or year-to-date averages that you're required to report. Easily done in adaptive here. I have this report. I can at any point in time toggle between my different types of averages that I want to report on that is connected and linked to our balance sheet here on this report as an example. And then again, in our top blue ribbon here, similar as with the other report, we can take this into Excel at any point in time, further drill down onto it, into any of our hyperlinked accounts, or even drill down into the data that we want to know more about. So we are at 11:41. I have not left much time for questions. I do have Office Connect to go through, so I will next toggle over to our Office Connect, which is our Excel version or our Microsoft. It's the Microsoft Office. It's the Microsoft Office add-in. It integrates with PowerPoint and Word. Here in this example, we're looking at Excel. I have logged into my Office Connect. And via my linked cells here, as I click on my linked cell, it allows us to see all the data points that are coming directly out of Adaptive. So the power of the Office Connect, we're leveraging Adaptive to bring in our data. It's that one source of truth, one place that your data is coming from, plus it allows you to use Excel functionality. Let's bring in our task pane on our left-hand side. As I'm highlighting my task pane, I can see my structure to kind of show you how easy it is to connect these accounts. I'm highlighting my taxes and benefits through my other expense because they're not connected. I'm going to go into my structure, highlight them, and it's a drag and drop. Again, it's that click, not code theme throughout the whole platform. They're now just turned blue. We'll refresh just this tab. It's going to look into Adaptive and bring in and refresh our data. We can also easily roll these forward. So I'm looking at October through March in column I with my working budget here, in column K, in my workbook properties here in my top section. I'm going to roll this forward to my April actuals. I brought them in a little bit earlier here. Let's say we've closed the month of April, brought in the data. We want to roll these forward. Selecting a date in the month of April, and then we're going to refresh all of our sheets. So in this example we're looking at here, I have about 10 tabs in this workbook. It's going and looking at Adaptive and updating all of my tabs in this workbook. But really, however big your board decks or reports or month-end close decks are, we can build with you together during implementation. We build a few, watch over your shoulder and train you and really enable you to be able to build these on your own as you may change these reports in the future. So I've rolled this forward. If you are paying attention here in my columns I through M, we switched from March to April. Quickly gonna go through a couple of these tabs here to show you some examples of what I have here in my demo environment. Maybe we have some metrics, different charts, a departmental P&L that I have here in my Excel. And like I said, this integrates with PowerPoint. Opening up my PowerPoint here that looks at that Excel, it's a simple refresh. And it rolled forward our PowerPoint deck from March to April, and all of my slides in this PowerPoint have been updated immediately. So in the event you have maybe a top level entry that happened, you've already closed your books and you have already created all of these board decks, it's very easy to refresh your system, refresh your workbook with just a click of a button and have your board deck updated immediately without you having to copy and paste all of your new charts into PowerPoint.
This is the reporting capability that Melissa Miller from Max Credit Union pointed out. Having these pre-built and be able to update on, with a click, really saves significant time, especially for month-end reporting books, et cetera, that you're doing for your stakeholders. And really an important feature for a lot of our banking as well as our finance clients that are looking to save significant time and make it much more effective. With that, Husai, have you gotten through the demo?
Yep, I am through. That concludes my demo. If there are any questions in the Q&A, I'm not sure, Scott, if you can see if there are any questions. I'm happy to go into further detail into any pieces of the platform.
Okay. Right now, I don't believe, Ryan, you can help me here, but I don't believe I see any questions. Are there any questions that you have from listening to both the presentation and the demonstration today? Just submit them through the Q&A.
Yeah, Scott, just to chime in real quick, I can confirm that at this time we don't have any questions available.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. Well, everyone, if there's no questions, well, here's one just came in. Sorry. It was unclear to me whether this solution encompasses a budgeting feature. Husai, do you want to take that a little bit and explain to Jim?
Yes, absolutely. So the budgeting feature is the piece I talked about, these supporting schedules that we're doing our calculations or our forecast and then pushing it to a P&L. So in the banking industry, if I'm looking at maybe my P&L, I can spin up new versions and really here in this example, I'm looking at a 12-month January through December, and use supporting schedules or a sheet like this. Use my formula wizard, pre-seed your forecast, your budgets on maybe your 2019 actuals, or using drivers such as my assumption sheet where I'm holding different types of interest rates to do my budgeting for specific revenue accounts that you may have. So the example we walked through was the interest expense, the interest income, and the advisory fees.
Thank you. I appreciate you recapping that. And Jim, yes, as Husai just explained, a lot of what she did early on in the demonstration was to set up changes and show you the reporting and how easy it is to see those changes, bring them through to both for analysis and for month-end reporting. So Adaptive is a planning platform, budgeting, forecasting, and reporting. So it's kind of the whole thing. Are there any other questions? Oh, here's another question from Jim. Hold on just a second. Perhaps we can have okay, yep. No, that's fine, Jim. And feel free, you can reach out to me, or you can reach out to any one of us that are on the call today. And that would be great. Any other questions from anybody? All right. Well, with that, I'll wrap up today, and thank you for your attendance. And I appreciate you getting on today and listening about how we're working with clients, what those challenges are with banks and their reporting capabilities, and look forward to having the opportunity to talk with you again in the future. Thanks again, and have a great day.